But we are not talking about just these two names. There are actually many different ways to refer to a ninja. 皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Let's Ask Shogo. Ninja-related manga and anime are very popular and famous. I am a big fan of Naruto myself. But in these stories, they sometimes call themselves shinobi as well. How are ninjas and shinobi different? So today, I will briefly introduce the history of ninjas, and then talk about the differences between ninja and shinobi. At the end of this video, I will talk a little bit about the woman ninjas, Kunoichi, as well. However, please understand that there are many studies and theories about ninjas, and some of them suggest the complete opposite of what I'm going to be introducing today. If you know about other theories, or if there's anything I've left out, please share with me in the comments below. 俺はお前をずっと愛している. Then first, let's briefly understand the history of ninjas in order to talk about today's main topic. There are so many anime, manga, and video games about them, but who were they really? What did they do? And since when have they existed? Let's break this down into 5 turning points. 1. The villains fighting against landowners. 2. Hired as mercenaries in the Civil War era. 3. Worked for the Edo shogunate. 4. After westernization. 5. Ninjas as a virtual image. Number 1. The villains fighting against landowners. There are actually too many different theories about the origins of ninjas and their skills, but historical records show the existence of ninjas from after the Muromachi era. There was a group of people who were unsatisfied with the control of the manorial system at that time. This was a system where once a person reclaimed a piece of land, that land will forever be that family's property. Which means that the rich will always be rich, and the poor will forever be poor. Because these so-called villains were people in a weak position and could not fight with armed samurais face to face, they developed tactics like surprise attacks and arson to fight. Some of the members were involved in Shugendo, a religion peculiar to Japan that aims to gain enlightenment through vigorous training in the mountains. This is how the ninjas and their skills were born. Number 2. Hired as mercenaries in the Civil War era. Coming into the Civil War era, these skilled groups of people were hired by warlords as mercenaries. Their tactics focus on attacks during nighttime by sneaking into the enemy's territory and setting on fires. Number 3. Worked for the Edo shogunate. Once the Civil War era ended, and Shogun Tokugawa Ieyasu started the Edo period, certain clans of ninjas were allowed to live in the castle town of Edo, which is current Tokyo. This is because during the Civil War era, the ninjas achieved trust through protecting Tokugawa Ieyasu through many crises. The ninjas guarded the castle and the daimyo's residence during their absence, and observed the movements of other samurai clans. During the peaceful Edo period, the ninjas' main tasks changed from fighting in battle to collecting information and protecting the government. Number 4. After westernization. When the administration was transferred from the Edo shogunate to the Meiji government, the Japanese army, navy, and police were established, and the role of the ninjas came to an end. Some took new jobs as a member of the army or police to utilize their skills, or something completely unrelated due to the freedom of choosing jobs in the Meiji era. Meaning the samurais and ninjas both disappeared from Japanese history almost at the same time. Number 5. Ninjas as a virtual image. Although the ninjas disappeared, they were beginning to be portrayed in stage art and paintings from the end of the Edo period. In order to entertain the people who saw those works, The ninjas in these stories and pictures were depicted as people who use magical skills to hide and steal goods from enemy hideouts. It's like the detectives in Detective Conan are expressed as an extremely cool job to entertain us. This culture leads to the image of ninjas today in manga and anime. Then finally, let's talk about today's main topic. What are the differences between ninja and shinobi? To make a long story short, they were used in different regions and ages. But we are not talking about just these two names. There are actually many different ways to refer to a ninja. Let me give you just a few examples of different ways ninjas were called in the past by age and region. Asuka era, shinobi. Nara era, ukami. Civil War era, kanja, rappa. Edo era, onmitsu. Taisho era, ninjutsu, ninsha. Kyoto and Nara Prefecture, suppa, ukami, dakko. Yamanashi Prefecture, suppa, 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 mitsu no mono. Niigata and Toyama Prefecture, nokisaru, kanshi, kikimonoyaku. Miyagi Prefecture, kurohabaki. Aomori Prefecture, hayamichi no mono, shinobi. Kanagawa Prefecture, kusa, monomi, rappa. Fukui Prefecture, shinobi. Depending on the era and region, the ninjas were named by their jobs and how they looked. So their jobs and skill sets were different too. And as you can see, the phrase shinobi has existed from ancient times and has been used in multiple regions, using different kanji characters to express it. However, for the phrase ninja, some theories even say that it was finally spread among Japanese people around the 1950s. So you can say that the modern era calls the ninjas ninjas. One quick piece of info. Let me briefly introduce the Kunoichi, the woman ninjas. Out of the many skills of the ninjas, there were techniques to deceive opponents using people, which were mainly used by ninjas who performed spy activities. Some of these spy activities were performed by women, just like honey traps. So the Kunoichis specialized in these techniques. So they were not like the women ninjas fighting together with the other ninjas, with their skills of martial arts and weapons. I'm sorry, Sakura. No one knows for sure when the Kunoichis were born, but it is believed that the skills of the ninjas were completed in the Civil War era, and warlords hired many spies. One of the famous warlords of the Civil War era, called Takeda Shingen, is known to have formed a group of Kunoichi. Then lastly, today's conclusion. Historical evidence shows the existence of ninjas from after the Muromachi era. There was a group of people who developed tactics such as surprise attacks and arson to fight with the manorial system. Their skills were eventually recognized by warlords, leading them to be hired as mercenaries. The group of ninjas that fought for Tokugawa Ieyasu, the founder of the Edo shogunate, were allowed to live in the castle town to work as guardians and spies. After westernization, the new army, navy, and police took over the ninjas' roles. They disappeared from Japanese history together with the samurais. However, the ninjas began to be portrayed in stage art and paintings as virtual images. This leads to the image of ninjas you see in anime and manga today. Ninja and shinobi were phrases used in different eras and regions of Japan. There were actually a lot of ways of calling ninjas by their jobs and how they look. Shinobi was used from ancient times using different kanji characters, while ninja is a word that has been used commonly quite recently. Kunoichi are woman ninjas who specialized in spy activities and are said to have existed since the Civil War era. So Kunoichi were not like the women ninjas fighting with martial arts and weapons like you see in anime and manga. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you learned anything new about the ninjas through this video, please hit the like button to let me know. And my goal is to achieve 100,000 subscribers by January 2022, so your help will mean a lot. Thanks again, and I'll see you in my next video. どうもありがとうございました。Everyone, once again, thank you very much for watching this video and welcome to the Omake Talk. Usually in this Omake Talk, I try to talk about something that's educational and helpful for you, but today, because I can't talk too much about ninjas, I do want to talk a little bit about Naruto, my love towards Naruto. In the beginning, before the video started, the main part started, you know, I did the scene of Itachi and Sasuke. It's definitely one of my favorite scenes, but my top favorite is actually not that one. My top favorite is actually the scene in the movie Boruto, Naruto Next Generations. I really love the scene where, so you know Momoshiki, the enemy, the villain dude, when he kind of warps everyone to this area and he fights with Boruto and Naruto. Naruto was probably caught there and was about to get Kyuubi, you know, kind of sucked out of him. Sasuke and Boruto comes to help him, and then, you know, Naruto and Sasuke like fights together to battle with Momoshiki, and that scene I love so much, where Sasuke says, まるで昔の自分を見ているようだ. And Naruto says, 一応教えてやろうか, Sasuke. That scene, I think if you've heard it in Japanese before, I think you know that scene. But if you're a person like me who have read from the very first book to the very last of Naruto, you know, all that difficult, you know, relationship between Naruto and Sasuke, and all that battles they went through, you know, all the hard times, you know, they couldn't get along, and, you know, after many years and all that hard battles, they can finally fight together. They're like best friends. Their combination are great. It's so exciting. I just literally love that scene so much. So this Omake Talk was just me talking about my love towards Naruto. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of viewers right now who love Naruto too, so please on the comments tell me your favorite character or your favorite scene. I would love to know about that. So alright everyone, once again thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.